Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Grassia, and I have a very fun show planned for you tonight. So, let me tell you what's going on. Number one, I was supposed to have a guest tonight, but I did a show over the weekend. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but it actually took a lot out of me. Um, and I really didn't feel better until like Monday night, Tuesday morning, and to be honest, I just forgot to confirm and reach out to the guy. And by the time I did, since they didn't hear from me earlier, we rescheduled. And I said, "What am I going to do tonight?" And what I decided was that um, I would do a live draw, which I've been really wanting to do for a while now. I've been missing coming on and talking and just drawing and hanging out with you guys. Um, but I thought I would actually work on something that I need for shows, and I'm going to work on a print. I actually want to talk about the piece specifically and why I'm choosing to do this specific piece as well. Um, so before I get started into drawing, let me just give you a kind of a little update on what's going on with me, as in Michael Grassia Studios here. So, number one, I've been trying to get some comic art done for a while now. That manga I've been talking about. There's just been a lot of stuff, and I mentioned on whether it was a stream here or it was just on an Instagram live. The reason I put a hold on the manga, which is not going to be on hold much longer, is because I wasn't happy with my environments. The backgrounds just um, weren't looking the way I wanted them to. Now I've mentioned that it's inspired by classic uh, mech stories. Voltron, Transor Z is most in America. That's how he's known, but he's Mazinger Z. I always loved the giant robots. Grew up on Transformers, and you name it, the Gundams, and I loved it all, right? And um, I really wanted to give it that feel of a 70s esque um, story, that 70s esque manga there. And so what I did was I really threw myself into embracing the old shows. I found some on YouTube, rewatched a few on Crunchyroll. Some of the other stuff that inspired it, like I always was into military anime, kind of like Star Blazers, and like I mentioned Gundam earlier and stuff. So I've been rewatching some of that, and it's been making me really realize the type of art or the type of backgrounds I want to create. I've also been teaching myself, um, what do they call it? Blender. The reason for that is because there's going to be a lot of scenes happening in the cockpit of this giant robot, and I don't want to have to constantly, remember where things are, make things up. So I figured I would, and so I can stay kind of uniform the whole time, is build the set of the cockpit in 3D, and I can always rotate the camera angle and know where the stuff is that I want to draw. And to be honest, I can also just trace over and get the angle that I want proper. Um, so I've been teaching myself some Blender. I've been rewatching some of the old stuff, redesigning a few things, and that's where the manga is. That's going to be my next project, and I hope to start it officially this weekend. So I'm going to go back and redo some of the stuff that I've done. In the process, I actually redesigned a couple of the characters just slightly. I'll show everything as soon as I can. And I'm hoping to do a little bit more live streaming. If I can, I'd love to do it daily, maybe early morning. Um, and you watch me draw the manga live. I also have a couple of humor stuff that I've been developing. And I also have been playing with bringing back my character Plunger Pup. Um, Now I know that's a lot of different things that I'm talking about, but um, I do have like scheduled time frames of when I want to do things. So I'm not just saying I'm going to do all this right away. You know, it's a good year, 2 year plan that I have. Now, before I get into the drawing again, one of the things I wanted to do is share my website. The reason is I I what's it called? I've been redoing it, so I wanted to kind of just show you. It's going to get a different look. I'm going through WordPress. I was using Wix, and I know most people, they're on Squarespace and all those other, you know, sites and whatnot. They're using, and honestly, I just don't want to spend all that money at the moment on things. I had a WordPress site. I paid to make it. Um, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, to use the service for a year. Maybe I'll look for a new site after. You can type in michaelgrassia.com right now. It is what's the word, mapped to it, so it goes to the michaelgrassia.wordpress.com. But when we come on here, we got a portfolio of a lot of my kind of like pinup art. Some things published, like this vampire piece I did, the Zorro, and it's copywritten to Zorro Productions Inc., who actually owns it. Um, so you can see a variety of my work. Um, you can get all where to follow me here. I am rebuilding the Get in Tune section. I had an issue transferring the Get in Tune site. So what's happening is I'm going. Why is it? There we go. I'm rebuilding the Get in Tune, so everything that'll be redirected to michaelgrassia.com as well. Now the comics, I am working on. I'm building the section here. It shows the Whimsical Whiz and some of my old Plunger Pup stuff, but I'll be adding more to it. I have a services page that I am going to break down my educational services and my comic and cartoon illustration services, and I am happy to let everyone know watching right now that I will be taking work if people are interested. I'll also be uh, you know whether it's commissions or illustration jobs for books or whatever. I am going to start becoming available very soon. um, my appearances, this is where I'm going to be. I was just at the Hudson River Arts and Crafts Festival. I will talk about that in a moment. Um, you got my bio here, and that's actually the giant robot from the manga I'm working on. Um, it's got a generic contact page, and also the shop page, which I'm going to be updating. So at the moment, if I can get the shop, I don't know why things aren't clicking on. Right now, I just have a link to the Whimsical Whiz book. Um, but I have other things that are going to be going up very soon. I'm developing I'm developing digital products. Some of them are educational based. As you guys know, or if you don't, before the pandemic happened, I was in the process of building a business where I would visit schools, libraries, camps, whatever, and teach comics to kids. Things on how words and pictures, work together, how to tell a story. It was a few different things. So I'm going to be taking some of the pieces, my handouts from the workshop, and I'm building a book. I'm putting a book together, so that should be ready in the next couple of weeks, and that'll appear on here. So yeah, my website is on here. I'm going to be doing a few different things too. I might experiment with different services like Substack or whatever. I want to just see what happens. I'm going to be changing up the way I'm doing things, and going to be giving away a lot of some old work, both some of it for sale, some of it, free online. We're going to have it's I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. So anyway, that's the big stuff that's been going on. Now, over the weekend, um, I did the Hudson River Arts and Crafts Festival. Uh, it's interesting. I've never done an arts and crafts festival. I'm always at comic book conventions, and it was different. I wasn't used to the arts and crafts festival. The way I was set up, and I'll tell you, I did my research. I watched YouTube videos on how arts and crafts festivals are different than comic book conventions. I experimented. I invested in some new display stuff, um, and I thought it was a great experience. Specifically a really good learning experience. I um, like I said, I never done this. I'm used to comic book conventions. I learned a lot. I also enjoyed it. And I don't know if this is just the artist in me, but I enjoyed it a lot more than comic book conventions, and not because I was the only comic person there. Well, actually, that's not true. I was the only comic person in the sense of having comics there. There were other illustrators who did similar work in the sense of pen and ink artists, or you know illustrators that were influenced by comics. You can see it in their work. Excuse me. But I was the only one who had like comic strips. Um, I was the only one who had you know other types of comic based books. We got here. Whoops! Come on, this is crazy here. Hey D, thanks for tuning in. Um, so I found it to be a great learning experience, and I will do that show again. Financially, I didn't make as much as I was hoping to, but I made enough that I wasn't upset at doing the show, and that I want to explore doing more arts and craft shows and other types of shows, maybe some maker fairs, and whatever, some holiday based shows, because I think I have some products that would be good for like gifts at Halloween, not Halloween, like the holidays. I meant meaning like Christmas time, Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving time, because I do have holiday greeting cards. I have some Christmas themed cards, and I actually enjoy drawing greeting cards. So I do think that's something I'm going to explore more in my work. Years ago, when I started doing the greeting cards, I created what I call Grassia's greetings. Um, so maybe that'll be a little small product line of my work. But what I really learned was about display and what people like about my work, just because what's different about doing arts and craft shows as opposed to being at a comic book convention is you have more of the John Q public there, right? It's more of everyday people just walking around, not people specifically looking into comics. And I had some really great conversations about old cartoons and newspaper strips and comic books that it was different than how I talk to people at conventions, at Comic Cons. So yeah, I found that to be interesting, and I'm going to explore this venue a little better. Um, Now, this is going to take me to what I'm going to be drawing tonight and making a print of. A while back, I posted on Facebook and Instagram a picture of a bear with scrubbing his back. He's cleaning his back, and he's in a toilet though. And I thought it was hysterical. It was actually something I saw in a dream. I woke up and gave it a quick sketch, and then that day when I actually woke up, I actually drew it, inked it, and it was done on photocopy paper, and like some cheap marker or whatever that I use. It was just something to get out of my head. Anyway, people seemed to like it, and I redid it. I traced it onto a nice Bristol. It was a smooth surface Bristol. I inked it with dip pen, brush stuff, added a little ink wash to it, and I thought it was great. It's one of my favorite. I don't want to say one of my favorite pieces. It's one of the pieces I've done that's made me laugh a lot. And I brought it. I brought a piece. I matted it. I brought it over to the show. Hey, Dylan, and I remember hanging it up, and my wife telling me, "I can't believe you brought that. I don't think anyone's going to buy that. Who would spend money on that?" Anyway, I took 20 minutes to walk the show, and I left my wife in my booth. And that piece sold while I was out. She told me the woman who purchased it got really excited um, for it, and she's buying it for a friend. Now, what's interesting is that she bought it for her friend to hang in her bathroom because she thought it'd be a funny bathroom piece, which is in my head what I thought too. But what's even funnier is some sales I made later on some of my small prints. Oh yes, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Dylan. Um, and let me finish my story real quick though. So she bought it for. Oh, but later on, somebody else came by, bought a bunch of prints for me, maybe 5 or 6 prints, and a couple of other pieces of my artwork. And they bought it because they're redoing their bathroom in comics and wanted to hang my comic art up in their bathroom. I thought it was hysterical because my uh, two biggest sales, I don't want to say, they weren't my only sales, but like payment wise, they were two of my biggest sales that day, were all for redoing their bathroom. I thought that was hysterical. Anyway, let me get over to the piece I'm going to draw. So, what I decided what I want to do is I want to redo. This is the bear. You can see the ink wash. I scanned this in. Let me just move some of this stuff out of the way. I'd like to be able to. I'm going to put myself over here. Oh, what happened? The thing didn't open up. There we go. So now you can see that. Sorry. You can see the bear. And and this was all inked by hand. Oh, Dylan, it's your birthday. Go watch Onward. I think I've seen that one. I think that's enjoy it though. So you have a great birthday. And anyway, let's get back. I don't know what's up with Clip Studio. I think this is a Mac thing. Every time I click on something, I know you guys can't see it, but every time I click on it, my side menus disappear. So this is the bear that sold. It was matted. This was a. It was on 9 by 12 paper, bordered out basically to 8 by 10, and matted with an 8 by 10, you know, opening on an 11 by 14 mat. Um, I was selling this piece for around $40. So what I'm going to do, which I'm on the wrong layer for right now, I'm going to lighten him up, and I'm going to re-ink him. And I want to actually let's re-ink him with a. Okay, I'm just fixing a few things here. All right. So I feel like I forgot my key commands here. And what I want to do is I want to turn this into a print. I'm drawing. I scaled this to an 11 by 17. Um, and I really want to just. I think I'm going to use. Let's give it. Let's see. Do I want the real G pen? Let's compare it to the regular here. So, you know what? I'm going to go smoother. I'm going to use the regular here, or the just the G pen. Let's see. How does that look? That's not what I want to follow, but this is always my toughest decision when I'm getting ready to ink. Do I want it to give that feel of a traditional looking piece, or do I want that nice clean line, you know, like a coloring book or something? So, are my key commands not working today? I don't know. Something's up here. Now, what I thought, in addition to prints here, this might work well on, um, on a sticker, on some online. Um, I'm going to rotate some stuff in a moment. I don't like that. Um, oh, wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, my key commands aren't working tonight. I wonder if that's because I'm connected to. Hold on. Let me just see something here. Let's just turn. I'm just. It's my wireless keyboard. I'm just seeing if. Huh. What if I hit it on here? Yeah. Nope. Keyboard's not working tonight. I don't know what's going on. Will undo work at least? Yeah, that's weird. Certain key commands aren't working. So, yeah, I thought this would look good, on stickers and other things. Like, see, I don't like not being able to rotate properly. Hold on, let's add the touch on. Okay, there we go. There we go. And in addition to that, let's make the thing exactly like I have here. if you can think of what kind of merch you'd like to see this character on, please let me know. Maybe I'll. Whoop. See, this is the problem with the touch. What the heck? Something just screenshotted. Oops. Okay. I don't like that. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Doesn't look too bad. Freaking computer here. Okay. It's not rotating the way I like it to. Here, hold on. What is going on here? All right, I'm taking the touch off here. Command 0. Actually, I think we want that line to be thicker. It's not too thick. Oh, I can click on some of the. Oh, great. Whoops. You know, this whole undo button thing is like the greatest thing. And the one thing I miss when I'm working traditionally, except for the ability to zoom in and out. don't understand why some of these key commands aren't working tonight. I should probably add a little. There we go. You know, I still find it fascinating that my majority of sales at this event was for people's bathrooms. So I have to wonder sometimes what that says about my work. But also, since I drew Plunger Pup for years, and I had a character who flew around in a toilet bowl shaped spaceship, I'm not really upset by it. I don't like that. I like the thinness there. Let's put a thicker line here. Thinner line down there. Let's see. Any new comments? Let me move over to this screen real quick. Nothing new. If you guys have any questions or anything you're interested in chatting about tonight. Oh, did it again to me. I don't know why all the palettes go in like that. Yeah, that looks better. Where's my eraser? Yeah, this should be it. So yeah, I am a bit excited to get these pieces done. My next show, um, I haven't been officially approved for it, but I did put in a space to reserve on the 20th of September. I'm going to possibly be, and I will let you guys know for sure, at a basically a Lego themed convention called Brickapalooza. It's not on my site yet because I'm not officially confirmed for it. But after that, the weekend of New York Comic Con, I'm actually going to be in Philly for GameCon Live. It's a um, big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like a kid show, but most of the celebrities going to be there are YouTubers. So I will have no clue who anyone is at that show. Whoops. Of celebrities. There's supposed to be some celebrity artists there. No one confirmed as of yet. Uh, but I hope it should be a big family friendly show, and I hope everything is going to go great there. I will be running one of the kids sections. I'll have some friends of mine, Ray Felix, who has been on the show multiple times, along with Tom Siaka, are two of the people going to be there with me. Um, Hold on, I'm just looking at this here. Which is the rotate tool here? Can I just... I hate when the websites are like this here. Or not the website. Okay, now I could... Now, getting back to the what do you call it? The Hudson River Arts and Crafts Festival. Not that I'm trying to distract anyone from, you know, anybody who would be competition for me to go. I really don't think um, it's a show for comics. I sold two of my Wiz books there. One was actually to a fan of the Wiz. She didn't know I was going to be there or that I was the Wiz guy. She came in to speak to me about doing another show. And when she saw it, she goes, "Oh, I read this on Instagram. I follow this. I love it." And which was very nice to hear. So she got a copy, and then someone else, said they'd give it a try. Um, but I sold more original art there. Um, and it was like my humorous stuff, as well as some live drawing. To me, that I think is much more the market than somebody selling just if you just sell comic books. There was someone else there who was an author, and I saw them with books, but the two times I passed the table, I didn't see them really with it, having anybody around. So, whoa, a little dizzy there. Um, Damn it, I wish I didn't hit that bump. I should maybe use a curve. No, if I use a curve, no, cancel. If I use the curve line, then I'm going to have to go back and do all the curves. Let's see. All right. 0. Ooh, that was a nice line. I like that. I need to have more confidence like that in my lines, or just get lucky. I'm not going to do that line. Let me just do it this way. Nope. 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 Ooh, that was almost good. Almost. Nope. Nope. Let's zoom in. Maybe it'll help me better. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. That's not bad, but the perspective's off. There we go. All right. Let's get that eraser. Where is my eraser? There it is. Yep. There we go. Let's go over this way. Nope. I'll fix that. There we go. All right. And let's. There we go. Got it to 0. Let's add in the puddles. All righty then. That looks pretty good. He is going to have to get scaled down a bit. But let's set this. Whoops, where is it? Set as reference layer. Layer settings. Reference layer. Let's start dropping in some colors. We're going to go with black first. Whoops, that took the All right, I'll add an eye in later. Or the shine, I mean. Let's see, is that taken up? All right. I'm going to call this black in case I need to come back and adjust anything. And we'll call this one colors, and I'll just put all we'll call it bare colors. I'll do the toilet on another layer. Let's get a good brown. 35, 75, 100, 0. That's where I start. Let's go right there. No new comments? Okay. All right, let me just fix this here so I can. There we go. Let's go with a 0 to 25, 0. Let's get the brown back. Let's go to a lighter kind of color. Let's get a color for the water. We'll go with kind of a bluish. I can always go back and adjust that later. Wow, that was a big spill out. I got to adjust my settings so it don't do that. Let's go with white. Just want to make the before I do anything, change the paper color. All right, now. Fix that. Let's make the handle white. Maybe I'll make white as well. back to the white. There. Let's go back to the black. Okay. What color should, now the question comes, what color should I make the toilet? I could make it white, but that might be a little too much. Let's go with an off-white. Something like that. Let's see, how does this look? Hold on, wrong layer. Let's call this toilet. I have to be honest, that looks exactly white to me, but I could be wrong. Oh, that was quick. Where did I do that on? Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to clean up. Did I do that on black without realizing? Yes, I did. All right. Oops, gotta get a little bit right here. And I think I'm gonna go add like a very light yellow. Say 0, maybe a 10%, just to kind of break up the color here. Let's see, how does that look? Let's bring this back down to a white. It looks okay. Okay. Let's do a couple of more things and then I'm gonna wrap up. Rob, sorry if you already mentioned. I said, hey Mike, looks hilarious. How did you come? Oh, okay, Rob. First of all, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I did mention this kind of in the beginning of the stream, maybe the first 10 minutes or so. This idea actually came to me in a dream like a year or two ago, and I did a quick sketch. Then what happened is I drew it, on photocopy paper and inked it like with a brush pen or micron type of thing. Maybe, like I said, a year or so ago, I posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and it got, it did okay. But I recently just did an arts and crafts show, and I did a pen and ink version. And let me just turn everything off here, and I'll put the bareback. So I did this pen and ink with a little ink wash on there, and I brought it to the show, and my wife was actually kind of like, I can't believe you did that. Who's going to buy it? Well, of all the original pen and ink that I brought, this was the first one to sell. And unfortunately, I wasn't in the booth. This was one of my favorite pieces that I did. It's always made me laugh. And when I finally decided, hey, I'm going to walk the show, see what's out there, do a little networking. And I saw some really cool people at the show. That's when someone came into my booth and they went nuts over this and another one I'm going to do. It's That one didn't sell surprisingly, but people commented on it the most. So I was shocked it didn't sell. But it was a pig juggling bacon and barbecue sauce. Um, anyway, this person bought this for their friend's bathroom. So uh, I thought that was great. And I said, I think I should be selling this as a print. And so I came up with this. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to scale it down. I don't know. I'm going to play with background color, see if there's a good background color, because this is at 11 by 17. Excuse me. Sorry. And whoops, I didn't mean to double that up. Let's call this shadows. Um, where did I put the pen? There it is. This is an 11 by 17 piece. I'm not going to sell an 11 by 17 print of this. I want to do I want to do some smaller prints. Let's get a nice dark color. Let's just start drawing here. Zoom in right here. Okay, let's maybe get a little bit of a shadow over here. Now let's kind of fur it up here. But yeah, this will be like I said. I'll probably do like a 5 by 7 print. Um, I'll probably make up a sticker with this. I'll probably put it on a few different products, things you can buy online. Let's see what percentage. 30. Let's go lower than that. Let's go up to 20. Okay. Over here. Nope. Actually, let's go a little kind of furring on that as well. I see a few places I got to go in and fix the color I missed. I just caught he's using a toilet brush too. That makes it even better. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, no, I had fun. I like this piece always makes me laugh. For a while, I played around with, oh, can I turn this into a character? And like, I have some Goofy Bear um, illustrations that I've done where I have one. Um, I have one where What's he doing? And it's not specifically this bear. It's just a bear I drew where he's sitting under a tree, making a goofy face with his tongue hanging out. He's having fun. He's just playing with his belly button. You know. Which I think I have posted somewhere on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not going to shade the toilet right now. I'm just going to finish shading up the bear a little bit and maybe throwing a couple of highlights on him, um, because I want to play around with some of the ideas of the shadow. But I'll probably finish this up um, tomorrow. Let's get let's come down in that direction. Let's see how that looks. Let's see how's he look. I'm not sure about what I just did. Actually, I think it's this right here. Let's just erase it. I can always bring it back. Oops. I think I like that. No, don't like that. Hold on, let me put this up so I can see it better and read, Rob. Because I was thinking the same thing about the bear in my head. I was thinking this bear is definitely a backstory. A lot of your pieces I do wonder which is going to be the one that inspires you to launch a strip about them. I actually, when I created the Wiz, that was because I, for years, doodled a little wizard. That was it. I mean, he looked a little differently. I played with the design specifically for the strip, and but a bear. I tend to draw bears and monkeys a lot. So there might be something with the bear. I had this character I created a long time ago. He was a sad, depressed bear. His name was Bernie Bear. Um, I was kind of playing off the idea of not that he was sad or depressed, but Humphrey from like the Disney cartoons. It's one of the few Disney shorts I actually find very funny, and he's my like one of my favorite Disney characters, right? And I just always love that idea about a bear who was goofy. He just didn't pay attention to things. He tried to get away with stuff. But with my Bernie character, it was kind of the opposite. He was a very depressed, sad creature. One of my first animations I ever did, actually, that got me my first job. Um, it was a bear. It was Bernie Bear, and what he did was it opened with a background of in a forest, and there was a little flower in there, and I gave him a goofy walk, and he walked up to the flower, and he was all sad and depressed, and kind of quickly, like, what's the word I'm looking for? He kind of walked quickly over, but not like a um, not like an actual walk. There was something off about his walk. Like you could tell he was a little sad. And he got to it and he stopped at the flower and he smiled and he pointed at the flower. Well, actually, he pointed at the flower turned to the camera, still looking sad, and then he got a smile, and he said, "Let me see if I can get the voice right." "Hey, flower," and then he looked sad again and hurried off the screen, and that was it. This was '94, something like that was considered hysterical at the time, uh, you know, and and when the person came to look uh, at the school I was in and saw what I was doing, he hired me on the spot, and that's how I started in the industry doing character designs. I tried to remake the flower animation a while back. It didn't work out too well. Um, Hold on, I don't know if I want that there. Let's put it underneath it. But I'll show you what I did. Give me 1 second. Let me. Ooh, I didn't save this yet. Let's call this bear. Oh, I always call him toilet bear. Toilet bear. All right, let me show you guys something. Whoops. Where is my? Okay, so let me pull up my website again. Where is it here? So this is my updated website, and I guess it's in my. What did I want to show you? Um, Give me 1 second. I'm just blanking on what I wanted to show you now. Um, oh, the background here. When I tried to redo it, this is the background I created. I was really trying to go for like an old school, like '60s style Hanna-Barbera background. And through trial and error, this took me like 8 hours to do one day in Photoshop. And that's because I had so many different layers and playing around with different brushes. And I'm a little upset I didn't do this at a high resolution. I did it for the screen because I really think if I remove the flower from there, I'd have a really nice landscape, like digital landscape to sell. But I don't have Photoshop anymore. I have Clip Studio Paint, and I have the Affinity software. So I got to experiment with the brushes and see if I can recreate something like this. Because if I can, I'd love to start doing some landscapes. Excuse me, but like cartoony landscapes. I love a lot of I'm a big fan of backgrounds on from cartoons. Not just not just the characters, not just the humor, but like everything about cartoons I love. And some of these backgrounds that they did for Hanna-Barbera specifically, as that's like my favorite company. And looking at like could this have been um, in like a Yogi Bear or a Huckleberry Hound cartoon? I don't know. It was really my first attempt, but I really enjoyed what I did here. And I did a couple of other pieces like this, but I didn't love them as much, or maybe because this was my first one, I had a little more passion for it. And I will say both these trees are the exact same trees, but if you look, they're just flipped. So, um, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the bear. Now I want to sing the theme to BJ and the Bear. I've literally listened to that theme song though in the past month like 4 times. I don't know what it's been in my head, you know. Details. Who provided the palace? Whoops. Yeah, I've been listening to and watching a lot of old stuff, and it's, it's a line there. Get a little bit in the hair here. But yeah, if I can come up with a story, I might actually do something with the bear. Let's get a little bit of his tongue here. I should bring that line down a little further. Do I want him to look like that or nope? Let's come around over here. I think right now I'm overdoing it. I'm going to be erasing some of these areas. That's one of my problems. I over render sometimes. All right. Let's get a little bit more down here. Yeah, screw it. Let's go down a little further. Right. Like I said, I'm overdoing it right now. Nah, I don't like that. Let's see, how does that look? Maybe. We'll see. All right. Well, right now that's overly rendered, as I was saying, but I should color that whole piece, but I don't want to do that. Molly's holding the scrub brush. We'll go inside here. Let's get a little bit here. Let's see what I got there. Nah, don't like that. But let's do one right here because I got to add in some. I want to add in some. What do you call it here? Um, uh, some fur flying. I might do that. A little fur, some action lines in there. some spots. Something like that. Oh, mention. There we go. I like that one. Let's put this one in. Let's just right. I do think I overly rendered him, but that's why he's not done yet. Let's see. What do I got? I see some parts that aren't working for me. But it's 10:20. I don't want to be up too late tonight. But I do see some things that aren't working. For a moment, let's just see what kind of color would work well behind him. Let's do a 50%. That's actually not too bad. That yellow works, but you guys, I'm colorblind, so if you think it's too bright or doesn't work well, let me know. And if you could suggest another color. But while that's going on, let me just do a quick little inks here. Let's, whoops. I would take those off if I was to make this like a die cast sticker. Or not die cast, die cut sticker. I don't think we need all the stuff around here for that. And what if I did some, one, two, three, four, five. That is more than enough. Let's do brown. Okay. Ink right here. There we go, and that could be some of his fur flying. Does that work? Maybe. I mean, it's something to think about. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to overdo it, but I do like the idea of his fur kind of flying around. All right, just because I don't want to stay up too late, I'd like to actually um, maybe veg out to a show or so. Oh, do I think there was another comment that I missed? I apologize. Rob, when I checked out your site last week and saw this animation backdrop, it's what it's what. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Talking about Hanna-Barbera and stuff. Thanks. I don't know why the comment went down below. I didn't see it till now. Um, but yeah, I kind of want to just veg out tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this. And let's give it another zoom out. Let me try something just real quick. This is my problem. I say I'm going to stop, and then I just, you know, the ideas keep flowing. Okay. I'm just putting it in its everything in its own folder here. And then I'm going to duplicate the folder. Can I duplicate folder in this? Let's see, duplicate. Oh, duplicate layer. Okay. So I'm going to hide that. And then I'm going to select everything in here. And I'm going to merge selected layers. Okay. There. All right. So now if I select all, copy, file new. What is it? 5.125, I think. Well, you're going to just do it 7. So I have extra 2.5. So it has a bleed. Okay. Maybe a little bigger. All right. And that would be a postcard right there. And that, any pastel color will work. Light blue, yellow, a soft light green, even pink. I think yellow is the right choice. Blue would be my second, but then you might lose the water. All right, so that was a, what color did I do that at? A 70, I think it was a 70% yellow. Let's give it a quick try. 0, 0. Let's go to 70, 0. I think that was it, but uh, edit, fill. I believe that was it, right? From there, oops, wrong one. That's the original. I can't tell. I think it was a little, no, I think it was lighter. That looks lighter to me. Let me lower that just a little bit. Maybe 50. Edit. Film. Yeah, that looks about right to me. So yeah, that would be, I mean, I have to actually shade the toilet and, you know, maybe go in and fix some of the shadows I've already done on him, because I do have to shade underneath his paw that's resting on the toilet. Um, I might keep the hair too. I kind of like that. Hmm. Yeah. All right. So I think this will be what I'm looking at. Um, I'll finish this probably tomorrow, and then I'll move on to that pig illustration. Let me see if I can find the pig one. I'll show it to you guys real quick. Um, Bacon pig. So edit, flip canvas, rotate 180. So this was the bacon pig here. He's juggling bacon and barbecue sauce. So that's one of this. This is the one piece I thought would have sold, and it didn't. Um, what else did I have in here? Just go maybe open up a couple of more here, real quick. Um, what's this? Nope. You know, this actually. Hold on, where is it here? This was a piece I did. a while back on a stream. It was a parody on Thor called The Mighty Boar. I think I might turn that into a print as well. But I'm looking for the pen and ink stuff right now. What's this? Nope. I just got so much. I got to organize my desktop a lot better. Here's a few things. Unsupported format. All right, well, here's a Marsupilami. I don't know if you guys remember him. 90 degrees clockwise. So this, I'm a big fan of the the Franco-Belgian comics. Obviously, Smurfs and things like that. But let's see, rotate for canvas. This was a piece I really enjoyed working on. This piece actually is one of my favorites. This was inspired by the Smurfs. And it's supposed to be like a giant just kind of blowing, what would that be, a dandelion or whatever, letting the things fly. He's kind of resting up against the giant mountain. When I look at this, though, I see other things that I should have done, like maybe put an animal somewhere to show the size. Because, I mean, even though I got the trees and whatnot, I don't know. I still think maybe an animal somewhere in there would have looked nice. So, anyway, I might want to do this as a print as well, so I might retrace this. But I think I'm going to finish the Toilet Bear tomorrow. And then I'm going to move on to the pig juggling bacon and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up for tonight. I want to thank everyone who tuned in and joined me. Whoops. Let me just bring it back to a screen where I'm looking forward. Who tuned in tonight, who watched, who chatted along with me. I really appreciate it. So anyway, next official show I'll be at is September 20th. I got to get the address. Well, hold on, I can't say I'll be there. I haven't been official. I have a booth on hold, but it's Brickapalooza. It's a Lego-based show. So I'm going to be there. It's in like New York, close to Jersey. In October, the weekend of New York Comic Con, I'm going to be in Oaks, PA at GameCon Live, which is a family-friendly event. And there's a chance I might be at, the Yonkers Comic Con, which is September 27th. So those are going to be my most recent stuff. I might not be tabling, though, at Yonkers. I haven't decided yet. But I have been asked to be on a panel, and I will definitely go to be on the panel. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I thought I was only going to go an hour. I did an hour and a half. Thanks again for everyone who watched. I plan to be back next week with a guest, but I also plan to start doing more live stream. If I can, I'll start this weekend, but I'm hoping to do early morning so you can watch me draw the manga. Um, that's my plan. I'll probably start that uh, maybe next week if my mornings allow. I have an annoying cat who is very needy and doesn't like me in my studio before my wife wakes up. So um, so yeah, we'll see what's going on there. But in the meantime, there's a lot going on with me and Michael Grassia Studios and the work I'm going to be producing. And Rob, thanks for giving me the idea to think about a bear comic strip. Um, might be something to play with. I don't know if I told you guys this. A while back, I was reading it was a religious comic. I can't remember what it was, but it was about angels and heaven and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, let me write about an angel. That might be fun to try. Then with me, instead of writing about an angel, I write about the fallen angel, the devil. And I had a whole strip I was developing on Lucifer. Um, it wasn't bad. It wasn't sacrilegious. It wasn't anything of the sort. It was actually becoming an office style strip and the inner workings of hell, um, and about you know the demons that work there. So I might play around with it, but I had some others that were kind of based in the world of the Wiz. This one focusing on a knight, another focused on another character that I was going to bring into the Wiz that I never did. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll be playing around and experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't work. But I do plan to continue giving away a lot of my work for free on the web, whether it's Instagram, whether I put it up on Webtoon, create a Substack. I haven't decided. I'm looking at all my options, but I will be giving away a lot. I want to focus more on the webcomic feature than printed, although I still will be doing printed stuff. Um, but yeah, keep trying to say goodbye. Let me let me really do it this time. Thank you everybody who tuned in. I really appreciate it. I look forward to being back next week with a guest, and I will talk with you guys soon. All right, bye guys.